Hey YouTube, Jake Kilroy here for Tip Blitz 2019 with some tips. So, you've bought a lathe. The lathe or shaper or some machine tool you've bought is capable of utilizing larger chunks of high-speed steel than the tools of your past, maybe. Maybe you've been grinding 1/4-inch tools or 3/16-inch tools, and maybe even 3/8 tools, and all of a sudden you got a chunk of 5/8 high-speed steel in your hand. This is 5/8 square Rex AA, for example, and you want to grind a tool on there. Maybe you want to grind a threading tool, right? There you go. And you're holding that in your hand and you're looking over at your 6-inch Harbor Freight bench grinder with those concrete discs they try to pass off as grinding wheels, and you're saying to yourself, this is gonna take a long time. I mean, by the time you're done, you'll have evaporated, 50 gallons of water dipping the thing, and you may miss your daughter's high school graduation. I mean, so there's got to be a better way, right? And there is, and I'm going to show you how to do it. First tip, wear eye protection. You can walk with a wooden leg, but you can't see with a wooden eyeball. That's what my old shop teacher used to tell me. Second tip, wear good hearing protection, like this. Forget those things you stick in your ears. Those aren't worth a flip. Get you a good set of earphones here. These are by Peltor. These have a really good rating, I think 31 dB, right? Make sure that you can wear your headphones in such a way that your eye protection doesn't interfere with your fit. Also, no jewelry, no watches, no bling. I don't want no Mr. T working in the metal shop. You don't want a degloving injury. You don't want your head sucked through a lathe chuck. Even a small lathe like a South Bend 9 or other tools of that size in back gear can overpower anybody, right? So be careful. Next tip, how do we grind this tool bit like I've done here faster? I don't want to sit at the grinder doing this stuff all day long. Well, what's the fastest way to remove metal in the shop? A saw, right? You can cut more metal on a bandsaw, remove more metal on a bandsaw faster than you can almost anywhere else. So, but you're saying to yourself, how do I saw high-speed steel? I can't saw high-speed steel. Baloney. You can saw high-speed steel. If you've got one of these El Cheapo air grinders, 3-inch cutoff tool, or even a 4-inch grinder with a cutoff disc, or I guess you could try with a Dremel, but it might be kind of painful. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're grinding a quality high-speed steel with one of these cutoff tools, prepare your stack of cutoff disc to replace the ones you're going to destroy, because this can eat them up pretty quick, right? That's what I did here. So I took my blank, I blued it up, I took my threading gauge, I gave myself a close proximity of the 60 degree, I etched it out there with a scribe, and then what I did is I took this thing, I just bolted it right here to the bench, took my grinder, and I sliced these two off, and I'm going to show you that right now. Now, it took me about 2.5 discs to do these. I'll be honest, the ones that I have aren't the best. So once you get the majority of the material chewed off, the pieces that are going to fall to the floor, that you've sawed this high-speed steel off. So what's the next step? Do you go to the grinder now? No, you don't go to the grinder yet. You get out your second operation. That's how you do it. And you rough out with that. Then, only then, do you get to the grinder. And I'm going to show you the edge I got here. So I'll move the camera around and zoom in on it. But so basically I got about 4 minutes in getting this roughed out, right, to a 60. And it's pretty darn close. Now I can take this thing over to the bench grinder and I can get my angle correct. I can get a nose radius, phone a nose radius, whatever I'm going to do. I can polish that stuff up on the bench grinder without wearing myself out, spending all day at the bench grinder. A lot of people are going to ask, well, you know, you're going to remove the temper of the high-speed steel with these tools. You're going to get it too hot. No, you're not. Stop lying to yourself. You cannot get this piece of high-speed steel right here hot enough with this grinder. And this is a stud of a grinder, right? This is a 7-inch Milwaukee. This thing's 2 horsepower, right? You cannot get it too hot to remove the temper from this high-speed steel blank. If you do, you're buying crappy high-speed steel. Or you're really a monster with a grinder. But, you know, back in the day, we call these cattails. Because when you grab one, it's like grabbing the tail of a cat. So that's my tip. How to speed up your tool grinding. Rough out. Think of it as a multi-step operation, just like making parts. Rough out, saw, right? Here's your saw for your high-speed steel. Rough with this baby. I mean, lay into it. Don't be gentle with it. You'll see on the video here. Hit it hard, right? And get the coarsest, nastiest grinding disc you can. And then do your finish operation of the bench grinder. That is how you speed up grinding high-speed steel. Those are your tips for Tip Blitz 2019. Be safe in the shop. Wear your eye protection. Wear your hearing protection. Take off your jewelry. Get back with you soon.